Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Nev. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 18, and we are doing the whole chapter. So let's jump in. Offerings for priests and Levites. As a reminder, Deuteronomy is part of the Torah, and it was during the dysphoria, books got displaced, so they wrote down what they could remember, and then later they find the books, and then they put them all together. Okay. The priests who are Levites, indeed, the whole tribe of Levi, are to have no allotment or inheritance with Israel. They shall live on the offerings made to the Lord by fire, for that is their inheritance. They shall have no inheritance among their brothers. The Lord is their inheritance, as promised them. This means they don't get their own set of land, is what it means. This is the share due the priest from the people who sacrifice a bull or a sheep, the shoulder, the jowls, and the inner parts. You are to give them the first fruits of your grain, new wine and oil, the first wool from your shearings of your sheep, for the Lord your God has chosen them and their descendants out of all of your tribes to stand and to minister in the Lord's name always. If a Levite moves from one of your towns anywhere in Israel where he is living and comes in all earnestness to the place the Lord will choose, he may minister in the name of the Lord his God, like all his fellow Levites, who serve there in the presence of the Lord. He is to share equally in their benefits, even though he has received money from the sale of family possessions. It's like Levites are recognized no matter what town they're in, and they are free to travel about in between things. Wherever they land in one of the towns, they owe, service to the people there. But that means they also are entitled to the food and, everything else while they're there. Detestable practices. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not learn to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices his son or daughter in the fire, or who makes his son or daughter pass through the fire. That means, don't set your kids on fire, because that was some of the detestable practices in the area. Okay. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices his son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, or engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or is a medium or spiritist, or who consults with the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out these nations before you. You must be blameless before the Lord your God. So it's not that you can't have abilities, it's that your abilities need to come from God. You need to have them because you're talking to God. So if you have them because you're talking to God, you're fine. If, however, you get them because you're praying to some other deity and they're, giving you, whatever they're giving you, then there's a problem. Because it's not really any gods before. He really means any gods besides. There aren't any other gods, because the rest of those beings cannot make life from themselves. And the living God can. Universe is still exploding as we speak, because each one of us exists, and that energy has to go somewhere. So, that's just plain old astrophysicism there. The prophet. Verse 14. The nations you will dispossess, listen to those who practice sorcery or divination. But as for you, the Lord your God has not permitted you to do so. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me, because this is Moses writing, okay, like me, from among your own brothers. You must listen to him, for it is what you asked the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly. Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire any more, for we will die. The Lord said to me, what they say is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brothers. I will put words in his mouth, and he will tell them everything I command. If anyone does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name, I myself will call him to account. But a prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded him to say, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, must be put to death. So you can't just go, God said so, because there's major repercussions for that kind of thing. He's going to be like, I said what now? And he's done that before. You know, Balaam, by this point, like, doesn't exist anymore, right? At least I think so, because they were in the retelling, so I'm not, you know, like I said, Balaam did eventually die because he wanted to take money for cursing, and you can't do that. If you want to have those abilities, you've got to stay pure to the my will to thy will, kind of. Well, not kind of. You got to stay pure to the my will to thy will. How exactly that's done, I think, changes throughout generations. You must say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. So it's not just a matter of probabilities and averages. We can make Excel do that. But the Lord always gets his way. It's always the Lord's will. That's what we call it, divine timing, in a bunch of different places, all that kind of stuff. He always gets his way. So, you know, he doesn't show people what could be. He shows people what will be when he's the one talking. That's really what he's saying there. So, until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the Nev. We are in Deuteronomy, chapter 19. This first part here is called Cities of Refuge. Oh, we're in the Nev, in case I forgot to say that. When the Lord your God has destroyed the nations whose land he is giving you, and when you have driven them out and settled in their towns and houses, then set aside for yourself 3 cities centrally located in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Build roads to them and divide into 3 parts the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, so that anyone who kills a man may flee there. This is a rule concerning the man who kills another and flees there to save his life. One who kills his neighbor unintentionally, we call that manslaughter these days, without malice after a forethought. For this instance, a man may go into the forest with his neighbor to cut wood, and when he swings his axe to fell the tree, the head may fly off and hit his neighbor and kill him. Then the man may flee to one of these cities and save his life. Otherwise, the avenger of blood may pursue him in a rage, overtake him if the distance is too great, and kill him even though he is not deserving of death, since he did it to his neighbor without malice aforethought. This is why I command you to set aside for yourselves 3 cities. Because remember, in this culture at this time, if you hurt somebody, you know, or if you do something to somebody's family, it's an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Their family has the right to come for you and do to you whatever you did to that person. In this case, it's well, what if you didn't mean to? Because sometimes accidents happen. And then this is why the city is a refuge. If the Lord your God enlarges your territory as he promised on oath to your forefathers, and gives you the whole land he promised them, because you carefully follow all the laws I command you today, to love the Lord your God and to walk always in his ways, then you are to set aside 3 more cities. Do this so that innocent blood will not be shed in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, so that you might not be guilty of bloodshed. Like, if you let somebody get murdered because you didn't do this, like when I told you to, I'll hold you accountable. But if a man hates his neighbor and lies in wait for him, assaults him and kills him, then flees to one of these cities, the elders of his town shall send for him, bring him back from the city, and hand him over to the avenger of blood to die. Show him no pity. You must purge from Israel the guilt of shedding innocent blood, so that it may go well with you. Do not move your neighbor's boundary stone set up by your predecessors in the inheritance you receive in the land the Lord your God is giving to possess. Okay, don't try to steal other people's land. Got it? Witnesses. 1 witness is not enough to convict a man accused of any crime or offense he may have committed. A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If a malicious witness takes the stand to accuse a man of a crime, the 2 men involved in the dispute must stand in the presence of the Lord before the priest and the judges who are in the office at the time. The judges must make a thorough investigation, and if the witness proves to be a liar, giving false testimony against his brother, then do to him as he intended to do for his brother. You must purge the evil from among you. The rest of the people will hear of this and be afraid, and will never again will such an evil thing be done among you. Show no pity. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. It makes for a very brutal society, though. And, I think we've decided to go a different sort of way, because all it was doing was bringing more brutality. So, I thank goodness that humanity continues to evolve, just as the good Lord intended. Because in the way it works, at least up here and in here, if humanity were done evolving, all of us would react to everyone around us exactly like Jesus would. And if we haven't gotten to there yet, which I don't see that being widespread yet, then we're still working on it. Thank goodness he's patient, right? Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the Niv. We are in Deuteronomy, chapter 20. Going to war. Now, as a reminder, Deuteronomy is part of the Torah. Okay? And some of this will seem redundant, and that's because it's people rewriting down what they could remember of what was going on. Okay? So, going to war. When you go to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots and an army greater than yours, do not be afraid of them, because the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, will be with you. When you are about to go into battle, the priest shall come forward and address the army. He shall say, "Hear, O Israel, today you are going into battle against your enemies. Do not be faint-hearted or afraid. Do not be terrified or give way to panic before them. For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to give you victory." All right. The officers shall say to the army, "Has anyone built a new house and not dedicated it?" Okay, they have to ask that question. "Let him go home, or he may die in battle, and someone else may dedicate it." Don't feel it's bad. "Has anyone planted a vineyard, but not begun to enjoy it? Let him go home. He may die in battle, and someone else will enjoy it." Has anyone become pledged to a woman and not married her? Let him go home, or he may die in battle, and someone else will marry her. Then the officer shall add, if is any man afraid or faint-hearted, let him go home, so that his brothers will not become disheartened too. So, that's a lot of voluntary ways to get out of military service, right? When the officers have finished speaking to the army, they shall appoint commanders over it. When you march up to attack a city, make its people an offer of peace. So first peace before violence. I like it. If they accept its people if they accept and open their gates, all the people in it shall be subject to forced labor. Well, that's not so good. And shall work for you. If they refuse to make peace and they engage in battle, lay siege to that city. When the Lord your God delivers it into your hand, put to the sword all the men in it. As for the women, the children, the livestock, and everything else in the city, you may take these as plunder for yourself, and may use the plunder the Lord your God gives you from your enemies. This is how you are to treat all the cities that are at a distance from you, and do not belong to the nations nearby. Okay, so if they can do that at faraway countries, but none of the countries that are immediately around you. So not like Edom and Moab and stuff. It's interesting. However, in the cities and the nations the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, do not leave alive anything that breathes. Oh, okay. All right, so the ones that are very immediately there, they have to destroy everything. Completely destroy. This is the Hebrew word for irrecoverably giving something over to the Lord. Whether it's a person or a place thing, it's like completely destroyed. A burnt offering. A complete burnt offering. Completely destroy them. The Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, as the Lord your God has commanded you. Otherwise, they will teach you to follow all the detestable things that they do in worshiping their gods, and you will sin against the Lord your God. Any worship like any of the surrounding people from back in the BC era is not worship of the living God. It's not the same God. It's a demon that wants to pretend like it's a god because it can't make life on its own. So that's my opinion anyway. You guys can feel free to disagree with that if you like. But, also, remember it's my channel, right? So, when you lay siege to a city for a long time, fighting against it to capture it, do not destroy its trees by putting an axe to them, because you can eat their fruit. Do not cut them down. Are the trees of the field people that you should besiege them? So he's like, okay, hold on. I said but I did not mean like trees. Why are you destroying the trees? However, you may cut down trees that you know are not fruit trees and use them to build siege works until the city at war with you falls. So you can cut down trees if you need to, but try not to cut down the fruit trees because you can eat them. And he doesn't want you to waste food. Isn't that nice of them? Until the next video, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in, my name's Amy, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and through next year. And then in 2026, we'll do the KJV. And eventually we'll start doing comparison language for anything that I notice where it stands out as different in one set of text of another. We are in chapter 10 today. We are in this video doing 1 through 24 of the book of Luke. In a separate video today, we'll be doing 25 through 41, so that's the rest of Luke chapter 10. And then we will be on to Revelations chapter 7 in a separate video. So, let's jump in. Jesus sends out the 72. Chapter 10, verse 1. After this, the Lord appointed 72 D. Some manuscripts 70, not 72. So some people at some point decided other people were added. At some point, 2 more people got added somewhere, and sent them 2 by 2. So of course it would have to be 2, right? Ahead of him in every town and place he was about to go. He told them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Go, I am sending you out like lambs among the wolves. Do not take a purse or bag or sandals. Do not greet anyone on the road. When you enter a house, say, 'Peace to this house.' If a man of peace is there, your peace will rest on him. If not, it will return to you. Stay in that house and eating and drinking whatever they give you, for the workers deserve his wages. Do not move around from house to house. When you enter a town and are welcomed, eat what is set before you, heal the sick who are there, and tell them, the kingdom of God is near you." Now that's an interesting statement there. Eat what is given to you, because these are people who are Jewish, where there is a list of what is clean and unclean. Okay? What is allowed to be eaten and what is not allowed to be eaten. Heal the sick who are there and tell them the kingdom of God is near you. But when you enter a town and are not welcomed, go into its streets and say, "Even the dust of your town that sticks to our feet, we wipe off against you. Yet be sure of this, the kingdom of God is near. I tell you, it will be more bearable on the day of Sodom than for that town." Whew. So that means, it's going to be marked for future destruction during, the time of Revelations. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the miracles that were performed in you had been performed in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. Again, that's a Jewish custom. But it will be more bearable for Tyre and Sidon in judgment than for you. And you, Capernaum, will you be lifted up to the skies? No, you will go down to the depths, or Hades. So that's interesting. He who listens to you listens to me. He who rejects you rejects me. And he who rejects me rejects him who sent me. So, okay. The 72 returned with joy and said, "Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name." He replied, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you the authority to trample on snakes and scorpions, to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven." And at that time, Jesus, full of joy through the Holy Spirit, said, "I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this was your good pleasure. All the things that have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him." Then he turned to his disciples and said privately, "Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings wanted to see what you see, but did not, and to hear what you hear, but did not. Oh, and isn't that true? What I wouldn't give to be following around Jesus and learning directly from him. Ooh. Like if there was going to be a time frame in history that I would want to visit, not live in necessarily, but visit. Like just, for several years stay while I'm following him around and learning as much as possible. Right? So, goodness. So, for me, it's a particularly poignant is what's in here. Because what they're saying is that he appointed first the apostles, right? And then he appointed disciples. So essentially he appointed like cardinals and then like bishops. And he is given the ability to drive out demons to those who hold strong faith. Because remember, it's not just these 72. The Apostle John got rebuked for telling somebody who just had faith in Jesus to drive out demons. So it means when you've got a person who can drive out a demon and they already know that they can with the faith that they have, given that authority over Satan. Think authority then over Satan. So then that means, all the rest of the demons too. There are no demons stronger than Satan. All of everything in hell works for Satan. So if you can defeat Satan, then you can defeat every demon. And that means they're just unpossessable. Because they try, and you can rebuke them, and it works immediately because your faith says it does, because that's how it works. It's not even a second. And he's there. So, what do you have to be afraid of then when you go about in the world? If demons can't possess you, Satan can't conquer you. Your fellow man? You think your fellow man is more evil than Satan? And then I have absolutely walked through this life since I was a very small child, because I like once. Oh, Jesus means they can't possess me. That's it. I'm in. I'm in. Great. The monsters under the bed can't do anything. Nope, they can't do anything because Jesus is stronger than all the monsters in the world. Love it. So I was all in from a very young age because that sounded like a great deal to me. I was not really born with a spirit of fear, I often find. Now, does that mean, is that a problem? Yeah, because sometimes fear is good, and it keeps you from making dumb mistakes. So I had to learn how to slow down so I could hear the difference between caution and fear. But if your faith in Jesus is strong, you don't really have a reason to go about the world fearing the world. So, if, however, you find yourself in unsafe situations, he does love you. So he doesn't want you to really stay in a place where you're getting hurt. Even if it doesn't matter if it's physical, mental, emotional. Yeah, you don't really have to tolerate other people's abuse. You are free to, remove yourself from that situation. You're not going to necessarily be free from the consequences of removing yourself from a situation. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but you are indeed free to find yourself in a new place for most people in the world, unless you're watching this because you're in from someplace where you're incarcerated, where you're not free physically yet, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, though. You have free will. You can choose how you react. You can choose how you respond. And in choosing that, you choose how you interact with the world. And that, by default, means you're not given the opposition any say. You've defeated them already because they are not making you act from any other emotion than love, because you're not letting them. by being accountable for your words and actions. Until a few minutes from now, friends. Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister. We're in Bible study. We are in Psalms. We're in the Niv. We're in Psalms. We're starting a brand new book. We're doing book 3 of Psalms. And we're starting, of course, with Psalm 73. Because that's the very first one. This is a Psalm of Asaph. So we're in a different artist, okay? Surely God is good to Israel, to those who are pure in heart. But as for me, my feet had almost slipped. I nearly lost my foothold. For I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Ooh, I mean, we've all been guilty of that. They have no struggles. Their bodies are healthy and strong. They are free from the burdens common to man, for they are not plagued by human ills. Therefore pride is their necklace. They clothe themselves with violence. From their callous hearts comes iniquity. The evil conceit of their minds knows no limits. Oh, we've all met these people, haven't we? They scoff and speak with malice. In their arrogance, they threaten oppression. And their mouths lay claim to heaven, and their tongues take possession of the earth. Therefore, their people turn to them and drink up waters in abundance. They say, "How can God know? Does the Most High have knowledge?" It's all the knowledge. What's wrong with them? This is what the wicked are like. Always carefree, they increase in wealth. Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure. In vain I have washed my hands in innocence. All day long I have been plagued. I have been punished every morning. If I had said, I will speak thus, I would not have betrayed your children. When I tried to understand all this, it was oppressive to me till I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their final destination. Like, don't get envious. Let God deal with what they do, okay? Evil always, implodes on itself. Surely, you place them on slippery ground. You cast them down to ruin. How suddenly they are destroyed, completely swept away by terrors. As a dream when one awakes, so when you arise, O Lord, you will despise them as fantasies. When my heart was grieved and my spirit embittered, I was senseless and ignorant. I was a brute beast before you. Oof, definitely been there. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will take me into glory. Whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. My flesh and heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Those who are far from you will perish. You destroy all who are unfaithful to you. But as for me, it is good to be near God. I have made the sovereign Lord my refuge. I will tell of all your deeds. Till the next video, friends.